Depending on when you're watching this video, you've either decided to have the best year ever, or you're starting now and you're starting afresh and you want to plan something. I actually really struggle to plan and strategize my years out because I have ADHD and I really struggle to actually plan things. So I have created a Canva template, which is nice and flexible, so I can keep adding bits and taking things away, depending on how I'm feeling, which basically helps me to plan out my year and kind of feel a little bit more in control. Because it's Canva, it's super flexible, there is no rigidness to it. And I actually want to share my template with you. So in the description below, there is a link to get this template. And yeah, let's go through and I'll show you each bit of the template. So when you click the link and you sign up to the form, you'll get an email with this link and it will take you through to a page like this. So all you need to do is click Edit Template and it will ping up in Canva. You will need a Canva account to be able to do this. But it will look like this and it will show you the whole sections that we've got in here. It might look a little bit different depending on when you're watching this because I will be adding to this as I get feedback from other people. This has been pre-populated with an example. And the example that I'm using is a plant company, fictional plant company. So I've just filled it in so that I can kind of give you a real life example of what this looks like. So at the beginning of the planning document, we've got a mission statement and a vision statement. And these two things are super important for understanding the big picture of where you want to end up and what you want to do. So we've got the mission statement here. So I got this from ChatGPT if you haven't got a mission statement already, but I do have videos on my channel about mission statements, vision statements, all that kind of stuff. So just plot this in. Our mission is to nurture the connection between people and nature by providing high quality plants, eco-friendly products and expert guidance. And then a nice vision statement to create a world where every home, workplace and community thrives in harmony with nature. These two things kind of give you a bit of a feeling, so you can read these and think, right, I'm in it now, I'm in the mission, I'm in the vision, and everything I do is working towards these two things. And then underneath this, we've got our core customer personas. Now, I think it's really important to, when you're making your plans, making your products, that you have your customer personas in mind, the people that you're going to be targeting. A customer persona is a fictional kind of character that you kind of use to cover your whole audience, really. They're kind of an amalgamation of certain segments of the people that buy from you. So in this case, we have Maria. Maria loves plants. She's happiest when in nature and she wants her house to be her own personal forest. Her plants are named, loved and nurtured. And this kind of helps you to get into the mindset of the customer. So you're kind of feeling, right, this is who I'm working towards. This is who I'm targeting. This is who's buying from me. If you haven't done your customer personas, again, that's probably something you should look into. There's loads of resources on how to do that all over the internet because it's quite a thoroughly researched topic. If you need more than one, you can highlight this. You can copy it, paste it, and drag it in and put as many core customers as you need, or secondary customers, tertiary customers. To give you another example, I have a secondary business called Amputee, and under Amputee, we have multiple different segments. So it's an amputee app. So there's amputees are one of our audiences, doctors, military. So and each one of these has its own customer persona that sits in our database of files. And then we just summarize it down here with the little paragraph of who that customer is. So once you've finished filling out these bits, it's time to move on to your vision board. Your vision board is essentially your manifest board, really. Like, this is the life that you want to live 12 months from now, 30 years from now. This is where you're aiming to. This part of the board is kind of your life vision. So it's all the things about your business that you kind of want to see in the future. So for example, it might be that you want to work in the city, you want an office in the city. It might be that you want to grow your business. It could be the certain plants that you want to sell. It might be a kind of vision of what the team looks like, and a few quotes that kind of sum up the business and what you want to do. The vision board is completely personal. There's so many different ways you can do it, but ultimately this is kind of the thing that when you look at it, it gets you into the mindset of what you want to be and gets you excited for where you want to take your company. Because this is Canva, Canva has its own elements. So you've got all of these kind of pictures down here. There's all kinds of things that you can use to kind of vision out yourself. So let's say plants, because this is a plant company. I'm going to go photos. And let's say, yeah, this is quite cute. So let's move this and put this in here. You can see how easy it is to drag and drop the pictures into the templates and the frames. And if you want more pictures, you just copy and paste this like that, drag it down there. And you can keep going, or you can create your own little squares. So you go into templates, elements, come out of here, take you back to the home page, and then you scroll down and you've got down here frames and grids. So you can just grab some little frames and fill in and just keep filling in. Just nice and easy. So go back up, find a nice picture, stick it in. As simple as that to build out your vision board. And again, this kind of gets you into the mindset of your business going forward. So every time you come into this document, you start on this planning document bit, and then you move across to the vision board, and so on and so on and so on. So once you've sort of played around with your vision board and you've kind of got a nice idea in your head, again, this is an ever-changing document, so you can always add to it later. Shift across to number 2. And number 2 is big, hairy, audacious goals. Now, this is from a book called Built to Last, and it's a really great kind of framework for thinking not just your 5 and 10 year plan, but your like huge, almost unattainable goals that you could achieve in the next 10, 20, 30 years, or if you absolutely throw everything you've got at it, you could achieve in the next couple of years. These are supposed to be ridiculous, huge goals. So each goal is broken down into 3 sections, and this is basically based on Atomic Habits by James Clear. And in Atomic Habits, he talks about having an identity, process, and outcome for each goal that you want to set, so that you kind of assume the identity of your goal. And the more you think about it, the more likely you are to achieve it. So, for example, from a personal standpoint, if you wanted to go to the gym and lose weight, your identity would be something along the lines of, I am a person that gets up every day and goes to the gym. I am that sort of person. The process is you get up at 6, you go to the gym, and the outcome is you lose weight, you get fit, you hit your fitness goal. In a business sense, this could be generate 1 million in revenue. So the identity is I'm a successful entrepreneur who creates valuable solutions. The process is consistently delivering exceptional products and services and nurturing customers. And the outcome of doing all of this is you generate 1 million in revenue. If you really struggle with this, ChatGPT is a really good friend. You can pop your goals in and you can say, I want an identity, process, and outcome for each of these goals, and you list your goals down there. And then you can paste it into this box here. Once you have done that and you've done each one, I recommend only doing maybe like maximum of 4 goals for your business, because otherwise it starts to get a little bit messy as you go down the line. Like 1 or 2 is probably ideal. 1 is even better. So like 1 big, hairy, audacious goal that you want to achieve over the next few years that you want to throw everything in. And then once you've done that, you can then move on to number 3, which is KPIs. These KPIs are essentially taking your big, hairy, audacious goals and breaking them down into little segments that actually help you achieve them. So in here, we've got our goal 1, which is to generate 1 million in revenue. And I've broken this down into a few separate things. I'm just going to zoom in here. When you talk about, say, generating revenue, that's massive. You don't just kind of go, right, I want more revenue and more revenue rolls in. There are things you have to do in order to get new revenue. So revenue could be broken down into new customers, returning customers, new product launches, because the more products you have, the more likely someone is to buy. Subscription launches, increase AOV, AOV being average order value. So the sort of average basket size of a customer that comes in, increase the returning rate. So what is the rate of customers coming back to your business? So if someone buys once, it's 7 times cheaper to retain a customer than it is to find a new one. So if you increase the returning rate of the customers, your marketing budget is going to get smaller essentially, or go further. Really, you'll get a better return on investment. So this could be the average customer shops at your business twice and you want to increase that to 3 times. you want to decrease the return rates, for example. The more customers that are returning things to your business, that's going to cost you money. So, and they're not going to come back to your business. So if you can decrease that return rate by improving the customers, by improving the customer experience, by improving the product quality, by improving the sort of education around those products if people aren't understanding how they work and they're returning it because they're too complicated. Whatever you can do to decrease that return rate, customers are more likely to come back. And it might even be you want to increase your social media impressions, because at the end of the day, if you are going to find new customers, how are they going to find out about your business? So it might be that your social media impressions are something that you want to grow, so then more people see you, which means the chances of them buying then goes up. So can you see how we've kind of taken this big, hairy, audacious goal, this achieve 1 million in revenue, and we've broken it down into little tiny sort of mini key performance indicators, which is what KPI is, that then kind of make it a little bit more achievable. If you increase your new customers, you'll get to your revenue. If you increase your returning customers, you'll get to your revenue. All these things are things that increase your revenue. So do this for each one of your goals. And again, if you need more, you just copy it and you paste it and you bring it down. So once you've finished your KPIs, then you move on to your SMART goals. Now, SMART goals, I think most people know what they are. They are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. So each of those SMARTs refer to one of those sort of letters. A SMART goal is really important because it really helps you to make your goals more achievable. It makes them a lot more likely to be achieved rather than just saying increase revenue, because then you're not kind of setting yourself a target. I recommend doing them nice and easy, sort of things that you can actually achieve, attainable. That's the A. So here, for example, we want to generate 10K in revenue, because over here, our big audacious goal is we want to generate 1 million in revenue. So let's break that down into a tiny chunk. Let's say this company is starting at absolutely zero revenue. By the end of this year, we want to make £10,000. That's really attainable. It's relevant to the goals. It's timely because there's an end date. It's specific. It's exactly what it is, and it is measurable because we drop down here, how to track. This is actually how you will then see how this goes. And the measurable part is really important, because how do you know you've achieved your goal if you can't measure it? So at least you can come back to this document and go, right, okay, at the beginning of this year, I set myself to look at 10K in revenue, but where do I get that figure from? Oh, okay, well, on Shopify, there's a revenue tab that breaks down the revenue. I'm going to look at that bit. It might be that you need to look at your banking, whatever it is that you need to look at. And then you can break down these into other things. So it might be, for example, that you want to, and we go back to the KPIs, increase new customers. Oh, okay then. So this year we're going to focus on increasing new customers because we don't have any customers yet. So, like I said, this is a fictional company. I can make it up as I go. So, for example, goal 2 might be increase new customers to, and then let's look at this. So if we want to generate 10K in revenue, the average customer, I have to get my phone out and do some maths, calculate. So we know the average customer, for example, has an average order value, average basket value of 50 quid. So how many new customers do we need to bring in to hit that 10K? So let's go 10K divided by 50 customers. So we need 200 new customers in order to achieve this. So let's increase new customers to 200. And because we're a new company, we don't know if the return rate is going to be high, like the customers coming back. So let's assume that all new customers are going to shop with us this year. We're not going to get anybody coming back to our shop. So if we increase new customers to 200 and they spend an average of 50 quid at the shop, then we'll hit that 10K revenue. So how do we track this? And we can track this by checking the number of customers in the CRM, because it's a new company, we can see that. So let's have a look at goal 3. Now we've assumed that there's going to be 200 new customers to hit that 10K. So goal 3 is going to be ensure average order value is or higher, because if it's higher, then we'll hit that 10K revenue a lot more easily. So that's how you can kind of see. And again, in Shopify, we can look at revenue tab in Shopify in order to track that. So each of your SMART goals should really be relevant to your big, hairy, audacious goals and to be influencing these KPIs, because then when you're looking at this, you can kind of think, right, everything that I'm doing here is going to help me achieve those bigger goals, and I know I'm moving in the right direction. We're not going off on some kind of tangent that's just irrelevant. So for example, if your big, hairy goals is to achieve 1 million in revenue, but all of your goals are about rebuilding the back end of the website, it might be making sure that building a new CRM. These are all things that are great, but they're not going to drive you revenue. So if you're kind of faffing around on the background and you're kind of spending all your time working behind the scenes and you're not doing anything that's achieving those goals, you're not going to move forward as your business. And it's really important that you link those back. It's also important that these goals are right and correct, but you should know if you're sort of thinking, visions ahead. So once you have achieved, like you've set up your SMART goals, then you can have a look at the content pillars. Now, this is kind of a bit of a jump because we're now not looking at goals, we're looking more at the kind of marketing strategy side of things. A content pillar is essentially things that your business does that you talk about in your messaging, that your products align to, that everything kind of aligns to these pillars. So for example, for a plant-based business or something that sells plants, we're going to be looking at plant care. We'll look at types of plants. It might be plant containers, like pots and troughs and planters and stuff like that. Containers. And it might be, we've got plant care, types of plants, plant containers, and the final one might be gardening tips. It might even be that you change one of these to, like, let's say, houseplants. And the plant care might fall under, the plant containers might fall under plant care. I recommend trying to keep content pillars down to 4. If you have too many content pillars, then you'll just struggle to kind of be creative. I think creativity works best when you've got limitations. So having a small amount of content pillars will really help you to narrow your focus, avoid overwhelm, and help be more creative, really. So, for example, the way you would use these. So we know that these are the things that we want to do. So plant care, you might bring in like fertilizers and sprays and weed killers and all that kind of stuff. You might have types of plants. So you might bring in products that are like cactuses or spider plants or anything like that. House plants might be your kind of like key focus. So it might be like how to, like you might create some blog posts that are kind of like how to look after a houseplant, how to decorate with houseplants, what are the benefits of houseplants, and gardening tips. It might be that you bring in gardening tools as a product, and you might talk about blog posts like what to do if there's a drought, how to water your plants correctly, how to know when plants need attention, that sort of stuff. And you kind of, this helps you to like make sure that everything you do in your business aligns to these content pillars. For example, you might get a company approach you that want you to sell children's toys, for example, but you can go, no, that's not what we do. We do these 4 things. We're not going to take on all these extra peripheral products like children's toys, even though they're a garden thing, because it's not true to your business. And it gives you an excuse to say no, because your business is these types of things. And one of the things that you don't want to do is have a muddy business. You really don't want to have too many things going on. You don't want to lose your purpose, lose your way. You want to focus on your niche. And I know that sounds strange because companies like Amazon are huge and they sell everything. But Amazon started just selling books, and they were really focusing on book selling, and they went after other book selling companies and made sure they dominated in that space before they started to branch out. But if you aren't dominating that space, like the space that you're in, and you try to branch out before you're dominating, all you're going to do is muddy your business, and then people will be confused about your purpose. Sticking to your content pillars, it gives you an excuse to say no to deviation. If it doesn't fit within those pillars, then you don't do it. And if you find that your pillars are too restrictive, then you can kind of revisit them throughout the year. Like I said, this is completely flexible and is open to change. But make sure that your content pillars really do focus on, right back here, your mission statement, your vision statement, and your core customer personas. Like I said, going back to my example of the children's toys at the gardening company, this is about eco-friendly products, quality plants, and expert guidance. Do children's toys really impact that mission statement? Does it help you achieve that? No, it doesn't. Does it help to create a world where every home, workplace, and community thrives in harmony with nature? No, not really. So if it doesn't fit with the vision, the mission, or the content pillars, you don't have to do it. And you can feel a bit less guilty about turning people down then. If you are struggling to come up with your content pillars, again, ChatGPT is your friend. Tell it about your business, tell it about the types of customers that you want to do, your mission, your vision, and ask it to come up with content pillars, and then pick the 4 that it spits out. Once you've finished your content pillars, then you want to move on to your roadmap. In the roadmap, I often recommend businesses, if you have a small team, try and launch something new per quarter. And when I say something new, this could be a product, it could be a video, like long form video, it could be a webinar, something that's kind of big for your audience. If you have a slightly bigger team, where you have somebody in charge of all the roles and there's not too much crossover of roles and you can handle it, really you should be launching something new every month. And all of your marketing, your content, all kind of fits around that kind of core something new launch. It could be a new product launch, but it could also be something really small, like a PDF doesn't take too long to build. So I'm not saying like, you have to launch, a huge new product line every month. I'm not saying that at all, but just something new that you can promote to your customers because they like seeing new things. And it just makes it so much easier to kind of structure your roadmap when you've got something new coming out each month. So, for example, in Q1, your new thing, let's again use the example of the plant company. Their new thing might be a line of painted pots. And this could be, what the customers are really after is really nicely painted pots with, animal stripes on them, or with little characters on them, or, anything that's painted. And this could be coming out in Q1. So the blog content around this could be how to repot your plants, how to match painted planters to your garden, how to design a pot, I don't know. And that could be your blog content. So the lead gen for this example, and when I say lead gen, I mean how you're going to get people to look at that sort of thing. This is a retail company, they use Spotify. The lead gen is going to be Facebook ads. It's going to be Instagram ads. It is also going to be PPC, organic social. But if you're like a B2B business, your lead gen might be a PDF behind a data capture landing page, which drives people to your mailing list, which then you pass them on to sales, and the sales then close them. if you're a company who specifically uses LinkedIn for lead gen, you'd also want to add like LinkedIn ads into here. If you are an in-person business, like a restaurant, it might be that you're going to certain events that happen that January. So let's say this is Q1, and you're launching a new drinks range in your cafe or restaurant. It might be that you attend a New Year's market, farmers market, for example, with free samples of the drink that you can hand out to people and say, "Oh, come over here and we sell this stuff. Come and meet us." So it really depends on the type of business that you are. And then finally, video. Video is really useful, like a long form video, because so many social media accounts use video now. Like Instagram obviously prioritizes Reels quite a lot. YouTube is obviously primarily video. TikTok uses video. So what I recommend with most businesses is to have like a new video about something that you can then break down into shorts, into TikToks, and you're just repurposing that video. Because at the end of the day, it's really hard to create a lot of video. So if you create one long form video and then get it chopped up into different sort of TikToks and shorts and reels, it really helps you to kind of save yourself time. It does make a big difference to your content strategy if you're doing this. And also LinkedIn is using video quite a lot these days and prioritizing that. So I think it's just the way that the internet is going. It's becoming more video led. So having video in your strategy is so super important. So then you would have the video. Now you can just take your blog content and turn it into a video. So let's say our main video is going to be how to repot your plant, featuring the painted pot. Because if you show people how to replant their pot using the pots that you're going to sell, people will be in the comments like, "I love that pot, where can I get it from?" And it's the same with like if you're doing you're selling t-shirts, like do some kind of webinar around the type of t-shirt that you're making, and post that, like a little fashion show or something like that shows off the t-shirts that you're promoting. Or if you're a B2B company, your video could be highlighting that new feature of the B2B SaaS product that you sell, and then you can chop that down into the different video formats. And again, repurposing. The more you can repurpose things you've already done, the better. So you've basically now planned a whole quarter of work. Basically, you know exactly what you're going to be promoting, how you're going to promote it, and that pretty much covers everything that you're going to need. There's always going to be some extra stuff like SEO and things like that, but really this kind of covers the most important parts for me. Once I've kind of done my roadmap, one of the things that I like to do is to do then an actions bit. Now this is completely optional, because really you might have another piece of software where you do your actions, or it might be that you use a physical media like a diary or a Kanban board on a wall or something like that. But essentially what you do here with the actions is take all of this and kind of put it into tabs. So you might want to use the colors that are in this. So there's blue here, and then write out all the actions that happen in Q1. So it might be that you need to create, let's make this 41 because that's what everything else is. So for example, create landing category page for pots. Find supplier for pots. Create blog post called how to repot your plants. And then you kind of create all your actions here. And then if you want to use this to actually manage your actions, then you can always have you can put like a done section over here. I actually use something called Marvin to do my to-do list, which is a third-party tool, and I actually just move the roadmap into there. So I don't necessarily use the actions part, but it is quite useful if you don't really have anything to manage your actions with. So it's up to you how you use that bit. It's completely optional, and I tend to delete it or I use it if it's something that I haven't quite moved over onto Marvin yet. And I just use it to remind myself things are there. I'm prone to forgetting stuff, so chucking it into the actions bit is often quite useful. Or if you're working with third-party agencies, sometimes this is quite helpful because you can just send them this link and have all the actions, stuff that you expect them to do, and then they can organize it into a timetable for themselves on their software. But essentially that's it. That's how I kind of plan myself. So starting with the mission and vision and the core customer personas, moving on to the vision board to kind of manifest what my year is going to look like. My big, hairy, audacious goals, which are my long-term, almost unattainable goals that I really, really want to get to. And if I get to them, my life is going to be amazing. KPIs, which break the big, hairy, audacious goals down into little segments of things that you can improve or decrease, depending on what they are. Then moving on to your SMART goals and making sure they relate to your big, hairy, audacious goals. Then moving on to your content pillars of things that are really important to your business and you want to base all your content around, your social media, your products and everything. Then moving on to your roadmap and what your year is going to look like. And finally, if you want to, the actions that you're doing, or put these actions directly into your task scheduling software or your productivity tool, whatever it is you use. And that's it. This is a really great tool, like I said, to send out to external agencies, to send out to other businesses. And speaking of external agencies, we are Lennie Stan. We are a marketing consultancy that helps specifically small businesses, particularly in the retail space, but also other businesses as well. Don't forget to book your free discovery call, which you'll see a link in the description below. And I hope you have the best year ahead, or your plans all come together and you achieve everything you want to. Please let me know what you think down in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to hear many more business and marketing consulting tips from Lennie and Stan. So thank you very much for listening and have a great day.